50 European city skylines, one photo each, two options. Can you name them all? We'll start easy. A city of ancient ruins and church domes, crowned by the Great Dome of St. Peter's. Rome or Athens? Rome, the eternal city, where ancient temples and Renaissance domes share the skyline. A flat city of canals lined with tall, narrow, gabled houses leaning at odd angles. Amsterdam or Bruges? Amsterdam, built on a web of canals, with thousands of slender 17th-century merchant houses. A grand imperial city with a Gothic cathedral's patterned roof and a giant old Ferris wheel. Vienna or Budapest? Vienna. St. Stephen's Cathedral and the Prater Wheel mark Austria's elegant capital. A Spanish capital skyline with a winged statue-topped metropolis building and 4 modern towers in the distance. Madrid or Lisbon? Madrid. The ornate metropolis building and the Cuatro Torres business district. A sprawling white city under a rocky hill topped by an ancient marble temple. Athens or Rome? Athens. The Parthenon on the Acropolis looks down over the whole Greek capital. A skyline of 100 Gothic and Baroque spires below a long hilltop castle. Prague or Vienna? Prague. The city of 100 spires, crowned by the largest ancient castle in the world. Switch gears. A hilly city of pastel houses with a red suspension bridge and a hilltop Christ statue. Lisbon or Porto? Lisbon. The 25-day Abril Bridge and the Cristo Rei statue frame the Portuguese capital. An Italian skyline pairing a white marble Gothic cathedral with sleek towers wrapped in trees. Milan or Turin? Milan. The Duomo and the plant-covered Bosco Verticale, vertical forest, towers. A skyline split by a river, with a vast Gothic parliament on one bank and a castle hill on the other. Budapest or Vienna? Budapest. The Hungarian parliament and Buda Castle face each other across the Danube. A skyline spread over islands, with a tall brick city hall tower topped by 3 golden crowns. Stockholm or Copenhagen? Stockholm. Built across 14 islands, with the city hall where the Nobel banquet is held. 20 already. How's your score? If you're still calling these, you clearly know Europe. So tap subscribe and let's roll on. A German city with twin onion-domed church towers and the Alps rising on the horizon. Munich or Zurich? Munich. The Frauenkirche's twin domes are a protected symbol no new building may hide. A low Scandinavian city of green copper spires and a colorful old harbor full of wooden boats. Copenhagen or Amsterdam? Copenhagen. Its twisting spires and the painted houses of Needham give it away. A bold, modern Dutch skyline of glassy towers beside a swan-shaped white bridge. Rotterdam or The Hague? Rotterdam. Rebuilt ultra-modern after the war, with the Erasmus Bridge and its cube houses. A city with a grand gold-trimmed medieval Guildhall Square and a huge domed courthouse on a hill. Brussels or Antwerp? Brussels. the Grand Place Guildhalls, and the colossal Palace of Justice Dome. An Irish capital of low Georgian streets, a harp-shaped white bridge, and a tall glass convention drum. Dublin or Edinburgh? Dublin. The Samuel Beckett Bridge is shaped like a harp lying on its side. A dramatic skyline with a castle on a black volcanic crag and a rocket-like Gothic monument. Edinburgh or Glasgow? Edinburgh. The castle sits on an extinct volcano beside the soaring Scott Monument. A German port skyline with a wave-shaped glass concert hall rising on an old brick warehouse. Hamburg or Bremen? Hamburg. The Elbphilharmonie Concert Hall crowns a historic warehouse by the harbor. A northern harbor city dominated by a bright white neoclassical cathedral with green domes. Helsinki or Oslo? Helsinki. The white Helsinki Cathedral towers over Senate Square and the Market Harbor, a fjord city with a white sloping opera house you can walk up, and a row of leaning glass barcode towers. Oslo or Stockholm? Oslo. The opera house rises from the water like a glacier beside the barcode high-rises. A clean Swiss city on a lake with a church of twin matching towers and the Alps beyond. Zurich or Geneva? Zurich. The Grossmünster's twin towers stand over Switzerland's largest city. 40 down and you're flying. If your guesses keep landing, you're a serious city nerd. Drop your score in the comments. A Renaissance city skyline ruled by one enormous terracotta cathedral dome. Florence or Bologna? Florence. Brunelleschi's dome still dominates the birthplace of the Renaissance. A southern Spanish city with a giant bell tower beside the cathedral and a wavy wooden mushroom canopy. Seville or Granada? Seville. The Giralda Tower and the modern Metropole Parasol, the world's largest wooden structure. Let's wander. A Spanish city with a cluster of futuristic white buildings shaped like an eye, a whale skeleton, and a helmet. Valencia or Bilbao? Valencia. The city of arts and sciences, a sci-fi complex by architect Santiago Calatrava. An Italian bay city sprawling beneath a brooding, twin-peaked volcano. Naples or Catania? Naples. Mount Vesuvius looms right behind the city and its busy bay. A Portuguese river city of stacked, colorful houses linked by a huge double-deck iron arch bridge. Porto or Lisbon? Porto. The double-deck Dom Luis I Bridge spans the Douro, built by an associate of Gustav Eiffel. A Polish city with a hilltop royal castle and a vast medieval market square with a long cloth hall. Krakow or Prague? Krakow. Wawel Castle and Europe's largest medieval market square. A German river city utterly dominated by one immense cathedral with twin dark Gothic spires. Cologne or Vienna? Cologne. Its cathedral took over 600 years to finish and towers over the Rhine. A lakeside Swiss city with a single jet of water blasting 140 meters into the air. Geneva or Lucerne? Geneva. The Jet d'Eau fountain shoots lake water higher than most skyscrapers. A Belgian port with a lacy Gothic cathedral spire and a stepped sandstone museum by the docks. Antwerp or Ghent? Antwerp, the Cathedral of Our Lady's single spire and the modern MAS Museum Tower. A French Mediterranean port, watched over by a golden Madonna on a hilltop basilica. Marseille or Nice? Marseille. Notre Dame de la Garde, the Good Mother, guards the old port from above. 60 in, and this is where casual players bail. Still scoring? You really know your cities. Hit subscribe before the hard part. A compact capital with a square white castle on a hill and a flying saucer restaurant on a bridge tower. Bratislava or Ljubljana? Bratislava, the Slovak capital's castle and the UFO tower on the SNP Bridge. A small green capital with a hilltop castle above a river crossed by a famous triple bridge. Ljubljana or Zagreb? Ljubljana, the Slovenian capital with its castle and Plečnik's triple bridge. A Central European capital marked by a cathedral with two tall matching openwork spires. Zagreb or Vienna? Zagreb. The Croatian capital's neo-Gothic cathedral spires dominate its skyline. A capital dominated by one of the heaviest, most massive government buildings on Earth. Bucharest or Sofia? Bucharest. The Palace of the Parliament is the heaviest building in the world, a city at the meeting of two rivers, with a huge white dome temple and a new riverside tower. Belgrade or Bucharest? Belgrade. The vast Temple of St. Sava is one of the largest Orthodox churches in the world. A Balkan capital centered on a cathedral with golden domes, mountains rising behind. Sofia or Skopje? Sofia. The gold-domed Alexander Nevsky Cathedral and Mount Vitosha behind the Bulgarian capital. Brace yourself. An Italian city with one tall, pointed tower dome, the Alps glittering behind it. Turin or Milan? Turin. The Mole Antonelliana, once the world's tallest brick building, with the Alps behind. A French city where two rivers meet, with a white basilica on a hill and a skyscraper nicknamed the Pencil. Lyon or Marseille? Lyon. Fourvière Basilica overlooks the city, with the pencil-tipped Part Dieu Tower below. A Spanish river city transformed by a swooping titanium museum and a tall glass tower. Bilbao or Valencia? Bilbao. Gary's Guggenheim and the Iberdrola Tower reshaped this old industrial city. A German skyline with a tall concrete TV tower and leaning Gary buildings in an old harbor. Dusseldorf or Cologne? Dusseldorf. The Rheinturm Tower and Gary's wavy Media Harbor buildings. 80 down, 10 to go, and these get brutal. Still here? You're elite. Subscribe so you don't lose us before the finish. A Polish Baltic port with a long row of colorful Hanseatic merchant facades and a great wooden medieval harbor crane. Gdansk or Hamburg? Gdansk. Its facade of tall, gabled merchant houses and the old crane on the river. A Greek seafront city with a round white stone tower standing alone on the promenade. Thessaloniki or Athens? Thessaloniki. The White Tower on the waterfront is the symbol of Greece's second city. An Italian port city with a tall, old striped stone lighthouse guarding a busy harbor. Genoa or Naples? Genoa. The Lanterna is one of the oldest working lighthouses in the world, a northern English city skyline of new glass towers led by a tall, slim, residential super tall. Manchester or Leeds? Manchester. The Beetham Tower and a fast-growing cluster of skyscrapers. A Baltic capital with a single, round brick tower on a green hill above a Baroque old town. Vilnius or Tallinn? Vilnius. Gediminas Tower watches over Lithuania's Baroque capital. Final stretch. A fairy tale Baltic capital of medieval stone towers, red roofs, and church spires behind a city wall. Tallinn or Riga? Tallinn. One of the best preserved medieval old towns in Europe, the Estonian capital. A Baltic city of elegant Art Nouveau facades and sharp green church spires by a wide river. Riga or Vilnius? Riga, the Latvian capital with one of the greatest concentrations of Art Nouveau buildings anywhere. A small capital perched on cliffs above a deep gorge crossed by tall arched bridges. Luxembourg City or Bern? Luxembourg City. Built on dramatic cliffs and old fortress casemates above the Alzette. Almost done. A tiny fortified Mediterranean capital of honey-colored stone, packed onto a walled peninsula. Valletta or Dubrovnik? Valletta, the fortress capital of Malta, built by the Knights of St. John. Final one. A tiny, glamorous Riviera city-state of dense high-rises crammed above a harbor full of super yachts. Monaco or Nice? Monaco, the second smallest country on Earth, with Monte Carlo's casino and Grand Prix circuit. And that's all 50 European cities. Drop your final score below. Tell me which one fooled you, and subscribe for the next stop on the tour.
Your final score is in. Comment it down below. Like and subscribe now. QuizHubLab. Let's go.